truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history! A walk-off home run!
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
What's up, Danger? Can't stop me now.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me, however you may be joining me, whether that's on 94.1 on your FM dial. If you happen to be listening online at sasportstar.com via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player, or if you happen to be watching live on YouTube, that's right, we stream all of our shows live via the YouTube. All you got to do is go there, search SA Sports Star, go ahead and like, subscribe while you're there. You can feel free to comment along with the show, as some have already in the bullpen here on Extra Innings with Pledger, or you can call in the old-fashioned way if you got something to say, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. If you want to be a part of the conversation, lots to get into today as before we take you to Rangers Cardinals at the bottom of the hour. But it all started this morning, early on the morning huddle, as I was driving around listening, and something that piqued my interest, talking about the NIL and the way things have worked out and where we're going in college athletics with all these players now making money. And there's no real accurate reporting on what they're doing. AJ and Rob were talking about it this morning on the morning huddle.
Boy, oh boy, the numbers are out on Cooper Flagg. What Cooper Flagg made in his 1 year in college.
It's good to be good.
This is I don't know what I expected.
Yeah,
but
I keep wondering why people are shocked at this.
I guess because we're learning now. I guess we're getting used to the fact that these college kids are making this kind of money. Cooper Flagg made $28 million in 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
28?
$28 million in 1 year of college basketball.
Wow.
That is wild. I had a $13 million deal with New Balance. And then $15 million with Fanatics.
And Gatorade paid him some money. He got NIL money.
Well, so that total just between New Balance and Fanatics is 28.
Okay.
They're saying that's his NIL contracts in totality, not an annual payment. But Woj has already reported that the New Balance deal was significant. And there might be, so it might be a long-term deal. We'll see. And he signed a multi-year deal with Fanatics as well, which Victor Wembanyama is involved with. Paul Skeens is involved with, CJ Stroud. The previous estimated NIL valuation of around $5 million was the biggest number in the sport already. So to think that he was making almost 6x that is now I don't know. There's a lot that goes into him being what he is.
And how old is he? 19? 18?
18, I believe.
Wow.
Well, okay, let's consider the situation that he finds himself. He went to Duke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Duke is a dirty program. They're not.
No.
But if you believe for a second that over the last 15 years, that any of those myriad of five-star McDonald All-Americans types made it through Duke without getting a little bit of money from somewhere. Duke has been the master, and a lot of all the biggest schools are masters Jimbo said it a couple years ago. Now we can talk about how we're doing this. Duke has been paying players for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Zion left Duke a millionaire. There's no doubt in my mind that money might not have been in his account, but there was an account that had been fed money for a year and a half, probably longer than that. That when you hear $4 million, that's stuff we're still talking about. There's still money on the backside. Duke's been paying players for a long time, and anybody thought that he was there for anything less than $10 million, nuts. That's the business we're in, and this is the business. They're getting paid.
Tyler Hero, Miles Bridges, Andrew Wiggins, Anthony Simons, Draymond Green, Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson all made less money than Cooper Flagg last year.
Well, by their salary.
But yeah. But I mean,
by their pay from the NBA alone, yes.
Isn't that wild to think about?
Well, you know what? And this is a good thing. People hear this and go, oh, this is wrong. Well, the good news is a guy like Cooper Flagg now has to sit and think, should I stay? Then why would I go other than the race for the $55 million contract like LeBron's going to get paid?
This is 100% why you will not see girls leave early to go to the WNBA.
No, why would you?
Because they're not going to make $28 million in college, but they're going to make way more in college than they can make in the WNBA.
Like 40K.
And
right?
if you,
I think it's like 75 or
seriously.
Like
and if you have to find your basketball Jones watching the best basketball out there, who knows? It might end up being a college game. I doubt that, but I agree that this is the best thing for women's basketball. It's the best things for a lot of sports where these guys can stay, play, build continuity for their school, and you get them for 4 or 5 years. Shoot.
Yeah.
This is good.
Caitlin Clark made $76,000 last year for playing lady basketball.
Wow.
That her salary.
Well, Nike paid her that in 2 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
The money is not like the NBA. I mean, you're gonna make real money, but like the salaries in the WNBA, it's not even close to what these gals can make in college, especially if they have any kind of a name. But $28 million now. If you're the kind of player who can make $28 million, you're probably going to go top 2 or 3 in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
And,
but I promise you, in the next 5 years, there will be a top 5 pick that's going to go, nah, I'm good. I'm going to stay back. It's going to happen. There'll be a player that goes, you know what? I enjoy the college environment. I only want to play 30 games, and I'm going to stay here and make $27 million and take summer off or do whatever. I do think that we're going to see it happen sooner than later, that the NBA will come calling and they'll go, you know what? I'm not going to go, even though I know I'll be 1 or 2. I'm going to stay here, take out a massive insurance policy, leverage my NIL, and make twice what everybody who's going into the draft will. Although knowing full well you sacrifice a year in waiting for the super big money. But at some point you go, well, I've already got 20 million. What am I? I'm 18 years old with 20 million. There's a lot of time.
It's going to be very interesting. What comes first, do you think? Do you think that there's a player that forgoes going to the NBA and starting the clock on that massive Supermax deal, which is your second contract, by the way? You've got to get through your rookie one, get your rookie max, get through that one to get to the Supermax that, is getting close to where you're getting paid almost $1 million a game right now. I think the latest version of it is 70 million right now. We are about 12 million away, and there is inflation with every new Supermax that comes out. Jason Tatum's just the new record holder right now. But what comes first? Do we see the person that stays in school to start that clock because he is making so much money that would be a top overall pick? Or do we see the NCAA start to get some guardrails on this thing, start to get to where you're actually reporting what people are playing, or you give them a pool of what people are allowed to pay based on the conference you're in? And to me, I would love to see the latter of those come first, but we've been saying people, it's not about, anything other than getting the clock started on your contract. College basketball has been dying because of this. What say you? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. If you want to be a part of the conversation, we'll get to your phone calls. And who would you prefer? We'll play a game of who do you choose coming up next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know the Rue Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Rue Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Rue Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Rue. Hunger striking, snack time calling, it's crunch time. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds brings you the boldest protein-packed crunch you can't resist with mouth-watering flavors like hot honey, sweet barbecue, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Why settle for chips when you can level up your snacking game? Plus, they're low-carb, high-protein, and made for adventurous appetites. Score big flavor today. Grab Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds at H-E-B.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning. You're heading the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SEAT for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SEAT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SEAT.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-499-9102. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-499-9102. That's 800-499-9102. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Y'all know it couldn't go anywhere without giving y'all a chance to win some stuff. Won a pair of tickets to see I've got a chance to win a pair of tickets to see, pull up my coffee here, Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening. He is coming to the Aztec Theater on August the 3rd. And if you want to go, well, I've got your chance to go. You just got to be caller number 7 once we start playing Choose Your Quarterback. But first, I got to go to the phone lines because Mario's been holding. I patiently asked a question going into break. What do you think comes first, guardrails or a player deciding to skip going pro to stay to make money in college athletics? Mario, what do you got to say about it?
So I think the NCAA is going to have to come up with a limit on how much a NIL deal a player can have, just to keep competitive fairness all around, and to really keep the kids in school that want to stay and play basketball. The guys that are going to make $20 million a year or think they will, they're going to leave regardless of what money's on the table with the NIL.
That's fair. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. If you want to be a part of the conversation, look, I think they got to get guardrails on this thing sooner rather than later, and that's across all sports in college athletics. Your chance to win tickets to see Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin evening coming on August 3rd to the Aztec Theater here in San Antonio. Be caller number 7 right now, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Blitz played a fun game earlier today. Choose your quarterback. What say you? Who are you choosing if you had to pick your quarterback for the upcoming season?
I tell you what, interesting on our YouTube page, and I know we got into this a little bit at a Dallas Cowboys training camp trip in our house on the beach.
Good Lord.
But I mean,
here we go.
It's like, who would you rather have? And I just thought that was interesting. I guess the question on our YouTube page, which you can go to and like and subscribe, by the way, Joe Burrow or Dak Prescott, who would you rather have? And to me, I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Well, except for when we were having the argument, you and RJ and Rudy, it was well, one of you were being a troll, and it wasn't you and RJ, but it was about Justin Herbert.
Yes,
and quite honestly, and if you were to say somebody not named Dak Prescott, that doesn't mean that you don't believe in Dak Prescott. But Joe Burrow is younger. But when you think about just overall talent, pedigree, national championship in college, everything that goes with it, I mean, honestly, if you don't say Joe Burrow, you're lying.
Sure, yeah, of course.
But that doesn't mean that, you don't like Dak. No, because I think there's, I don't know, what do you think? 25 teams, 26, 27 that would take Joe Burrow over the guy they have, even if they love the guy they have. I think if you were to ask a Texan fan, you want Joe Burrow or C.J. Stroud, I think the answer would be Joe Burrow.
Well, you'd kind of be dumb not to, but I mean, we've got some Texans fans in the one of them sitting back at our studio by the name of James Pledger. What would he say? And then you've got another one on our YouTube page, Joshua Jimenez. Would you rather have Joe Burrow or C.J. Stroud? And which is kind of the projection for C.J. Stroud versus the projection of a Joe Burrow.
Well, then you wonder. I mean, so much of it is system and the guys that are around you.
Right. Nobody
is winning on their own. You have to have your weapons, and that's everybody. But I'm thinking the only fan bases where I'd say, okay, Joe Burrow, or if you're a Bills fan, you want to keep Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I would say Kansas City.
Yeah, I think you're keeping the guy you have.
Outside of that, I think Joe Burrow would be your answer.
Well, Baltimore may, you want to keep Lamar Jackson.
I mean, I know you might want to keep Lamar Jackson, but I mean, playoff success hasn't been there.
Has not.
And that's what it's about. And the idea of what could Joe Burrow do with the weapons that Lamar Jackson has. Now, granted, he's a bit of a wild card because he is such a big part of their offense. But you look at tight ends, receivers. I don't know. That Derrick Henry guy is pretty damn good.
He is.
If you're in Tampa Bay, you're taking Joe Burrow over Baker Mayfield.
Of course.
If you're with the Chargers, you got Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow. You're taking Joe Burrow. I mean, there's a reason, he's always either 3 or 4 on the top 5 quarterback list behind Josh, behind Patrick, and behind Lamar, or in front of Lamar. And that's why I say, so 30 franchises, well, 29 because Cincinnati already has them, probably would say Joe Burrow over whatever they currently have.
I don't think there's any question. Now, do keep in mind, Joe Burrow's got a couple of pretty good weapons there in Cincinnati that he kind of likes to throw to. So it's interesting. But again, and Pledge is bringing up a legit question. I mean, it is the system and it is the weapons that you have. None of these quarterbacks, none of them, I don't care who they are, can survive and can succeed without weapons around them. And Dak Prescott is that. Now, look, Dak has had some weapons. Cowboys have had some teams. Well, that Green Bay loss, look, that team should have made a big run. They should have. the entire team screwed the pooch on that. I mean, they did that, and I'm going to give you that. Dak was a big part of it, but so were a lot of other people. But look, you can't say that Dak hasn't had talent, and there's other quarterbacks that have had some talent and haven't been able to get over the hump either. So it's an interesting debate to have, simply because you'd like to see a Joe Burrow. What would he do if he was Kansas City or Dallas or whatever? But it's different.
I mean, and to Pledge's point, Joe Burrow has always had world-class talent around him.
Sure.
And that is true, offensively at least. Would Joe Burrow make your Tennessee Titans better? I mean, I don't even know what weapons they have. But if Joe Burrow was the quarterback, would that be 2 or 3 more wins over what they've had?
Yes. I think I could say that. Maybe a couple of wins more from a guy like Burrow, who's smart and is the most accurate quarterback, I think, in the National Football League right now, I would say. But I'm just saying, without weapons around him, no, he's not going to win in Tennessee. He's not going to win in New Orleans. He's not going to win in, I don't know, name another one, maybe Carolina. I mean, no. And none of those guys would. What if Patrick Mahomes would have gone to somebody else besides Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs?
Again, you have to have basically the perfect storm.
Sure.
And what I mean by that, for a number of years, Tampa Bay had a great football team. They couldn't find the right quarterback. In comes Tom Brady. Here's a Lombardi trophy, right? You can be a great quarterback and not have the talent around you. And what are you going to get done? You look at Peyton Manning and some of the successes that he had. Look at the teams that Peyton went to in Denver. And Peyton was not near the same player, but he went where there was so much talent around him. What he could do is get them across the finish line, and he was able to do that. Russell Wilson, playing on a rookie deal, had all that talent around him, had that great defense. They went to the Super Bowl twice when he was on a rookie deal. But once you paid your quarterback, now you couldn't keep all that talent around him. And what has Russell Wilson done since?
Nothing. And what will he do with the New York Giants? It remains to be seen. And I'm going to say probably nothing. Although they have improved that team, and I think they are going to be a little bit better. But it's an interesting debate. And the whole thing started at the beach house in Oxnard with Justin Herbert. And at that time, Jason, I think it was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
At that time, I would have, just because of the promise and the potential. Now, looking at it today, Herbert hasn't lived up to that. Now, and I'm quite honest with it's time for him to do something. I mean, they're putting some players around him. He's got a world-class coach now. And, it's time for him to put up or shut up, or you're going to be talking about him being bust is a hard word, but a guy that just never lived up to expectations.
Yeah, no, there's a difference between bust and, Justin Herbert, kind of like Phillip Rivers, is a great comparison to, say, Tony Romo and Dak Prescott.
Sure.
Incredible talent, but when it mattered most, did you get it done? I mean, when you look at Dak Prescott and what he has done in the regular season, and, we all focus on playoff failures and because they matter the most. But to say Dak Prescott isn't a good quarterback, like some might be suggesting on YouTube, is just not a true statement. Now, if you're a hater, you can believe that all you want. But if you're just trying to be fair and honest with yourself, Dak Prescott is one hell of a quarterback, but he hasn't gotten it done in the postseason. Glenn Flewitt says, would Joe Burrow make your Dallas Cowboys better, JM?
Yes.
I mean, I would, but I mean, better than what? And when I say that, would he be better than Dak in the regular season? I don't know. It's probably a wash. Well, can he get it done in the postseason? We saw him make a Super Bowl run. My first answer is yes. Would I trade Joe Burrow for Dak Prescott straight up today? Yes, I would. But at the same time, Joe Burrow knows how to play with a bad defense. As talented as he is, that defense was awful last year. And what happened to the Bengals? You could almost say they'd be a wash. I'm not saying that they would be better or worse with Joe Burrow, but it's who all is around you. I'm not saying, if you traded Joe Burrow for Dak Prescott, is that 3 more wins for the Cowboys? Who knows?
Well, that's why it's a fun debate.
Yeah.
And a debate that really is never
debates
going to
are
have.
fun.
It's never going to have an answer, right? It's because you're gonna have so many different opinions and where to go, and you just wouldn't know, and we'll never know.
You just don't know. But I like to bring up the fact that, yeah, Joe Burrow is awesome. I love watching Joe Burrow play quarterback. He is one of the swaggiest guys, coolest guys, and just fun to watch at the quarterback position. But it's also hard to say what he is outside of the weapons that surround him. He was surrounded by Clyde Edwards-Helaire, first-round running back, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, two of the best receivers in the NFL, period, hands down, 1, 2, like whatever order you want to put them in. He had them on the same team in college, and that team sent like 20-something players to the NFL. And since he's been at Cincinnati, what has he been surrounded by? Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. Like, he's had a ton of weapons surrounding him ever since he's gotten to the NFL. So, what is he minus those weapons? And you can say that about a bunch of quarterbacks in the NFL. What are they without the talent that surrounds them? Can they be stripped down and still win? We've seen one person do that. Patrick Mahomes. That's the list. That's it. Josh Allen, too. Josh Allen had all his weapons taken away last year, still survived. I don't know what Lamar Jackson is outside of the system that he runs. What happens if he gets put in a pro-style system where they don't want him to use his legs? But Frank Mateo's asking if I see Tunsil didn't want to report because of his contract. Oh, no, color me shocked. I didn't see this coming, except I did, and I tried to warn you about it. That's who Laramie Tunsil is. He cares about his own bag, and that's it, not the team concept. Coming up next, we got Rangers Cardinals here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Celebrate youth sports with the San Antonio Brahmas. The Herd returns to the Alamo Dome Sunday, June 1st to take on the Arlington